Our next step will be to define an experiment. Click on the experiment page, click on the plus to design an experiment. You will want to give a title for the experiment, a description of the test, and various other pieces of information that will become a part of the stored records. You can do this step after you have designed your experiment, and you do not have to fill in any of the information about the experiment, but you must give a title to the experiment. Now we will design the experiment. Click on Templates. You will find two different suggestions for an experiment. The first shows 3 device blocks, an experiment record block, a repeat block with a move the motor block inside it, and an experiment record inside it. This template might be able to run most of your tests. If you want to use the template, click on it. The individual blocks might have suggestions or they might be blank. Looking at the first block, click on the down arrow and you will see all the choices. The choices will be all the equipment you have installed. The down arrow to the right allows you to select which template you wish to apply. A typical experiment might be a motor, a meter, and a camera. That's the 3 blocks in the suggested template. The block experiment record tells the motor to stop and for the meters to take and record a measurement. The cameras will take a snapshot at the same time. The first experiment record was put there because it is typical to make a measurement before the endurance test begins. Repeat times in the green block is basically asking how many measurements you want to make in the entire experiment. The actual number of measurements will be one greater than that because of the initial measurement. Then the brown block inside the repeat block allows you to say which motor will be used. That motor must have been included in the device list at the top of the block diagram. The speed box is the speed you want the motor to run during the experiment. The position box allows you to set the number of machine cycles that you will run between measurements. After the repeat cycles are run, the experiment record causes the motor to stop and measurements to be made and recorded. The total number of test cycles will be the product of the repeat number and the position number. Suppose you want to use 2 meters in the experiment. Click on the Device tab and click on a device block. Move the new device block into the position you want it in the overall block diagram. Suppose you also want to use 2 cameras in the experiment. Click on the Device tab again and click on a device block. Then move it into the position you want it to be. Now that we have designed the basic experiment, we need to go through every block setting up the specific devices we want to use and the template we want that device to use. In the repeat block, we set the number of measurements, the motor speed, and the number of cycles per measurement. It might be necessary to add or change blocks or the numbers inside the blocks. Once you have filled in every blank, save the experiment, clicking on Save at the bottom. After you have saved the algorithm, you can still change it. If you do not save it, it will be lost when you go to another page.